Day 32 in the Journey of Learning. Let's configure SNMP on our network. This is another way to gather stats from the network, but SNMP is slightly different from syslog in that it will also allow you to configure the network or to modify it, hence the name Simple Network Management Protocol. Has three different versions. Version one, you basically never want to use. You either want to use two or three, but it's best to go with three. And it's because three has encryption. So that's a security measure for your network. As always, we start off by creating a script to follow. And we will discuss the script momentarily. But as you can see, um, as we progress what we're doing with our network, we started off with the basics. We built basic scripts on our network, and we built on top of those on that basic information or that basic configuration, and we continue to add more and more features and to expand the network and to do new and different things with it. And these are the things you want to do with your projects. Start with the basics, learn the basics first, then start working with some more, say, intermediate projects or intermediate configurations. Try some advanced features or advanced configurations and continue to build your network, continue to grow it, continue to make it bigger and better and do more things with it. And this doesn't just apply to networks, it applies to anything that you're doing in the IT space. So you always start with the basics and just keep advancing to learn to do more and more with it. So let's look at our script. So of course we would log into the device. We will go into enable mode, config T. We're going to add this particular portion of the config regarding the SNMP server. We're going to specify that we're going to provide the community string, and then we provide the actual string. You will change this to whatever you want the community string to be, and it will be either RW for read write or RO for read only. RW, which will allow you to not only read but also to write, so to modify. If you only want to pull the information and view it, then you use RO. Next, specify who is the SNMP server host. As you can see here, 10.10.5.8 for this network, and then the community string again. Think of the community string as a password. I've taken the liberty to enable traps and information. So any traps that take place and informational notifications, we want to gather that as well. I've already taken the liberty of adding this configuration into our network, into the devices. So let's see the results. And I did that for the sake of saving time. So I'm using PRTG. It gives me a 31-day free trial. There are many other SNMP managers out there that you can use or software, such as SolarWinds and quite a few others. Um, there are also some open source ones. Um, but this will allow you to gather information, monitor your network to see what's taking place, and as new things happen in your network, you want to respond to them. The most critical will be in red, as you can see here, and which require your immediate attention or critical. And you want to react to those as quickly as possible. With your warnings, this is something that is not as critical or not as impactful, but should receive your attention, and you should try to resolve that as well as quickly as possible before it actually ends up maybe becoming a problem. So think of that as probably like some um, warning signals or some signs that hey, there might be an impending issue of some sort, so you might want to take a look at this, or something that could become an issue later. and of course we have green. So these are the three basic colors which are good. It's just like when you're driving your car, red for stop, get your attention. Yellow is a warning, and green, everything is good to go. So if you want to review those, as you can see here, we have some new log entries that have happened since I've installed this and configured it. You can look at the new log entries, and that's a very good feature because let's say you took a look at these and it wasn't as critical based upon your assessment that requires a certain amount of response time. But in the meantime, let's say if something new comes in, you don't really want to have to look at this number and remember what's the number 10 or what was it. So here, new log entries if you haven't taken a look at them. And so that's good in getting your attention. You can click here, take a look at them, review them, and see what action you may need to take. Um, as we can see, 10.10.5.6 had a couple of issues here, and that is our wireless controller. Um, let's take a look and see. It gives us a nice little bit of information here. This was okay. This was port number 3, and okay, it looks like it came online in port 1. Status is up. Status is up. So it came online. It looks like everything is fine with this. So you just want to try to take a look and see whether or not you need to take any action on this. Let's click here, take a look at this one. You can also click into these and get even more info to do more of your investigation. Let's look at another one. Let's click on the first one we clicked was ping. Let's click on this one, and you get a lot of info. So perhaps you're having some CCR errors, um, something that you will encounter quite a bit in the networking world. So you get a lot of information that can help you in diagnosing some issues and some problems. Uptime, 100%. Very nice. Okay. Let's go back to home. And so we see we have no more new entries at this time. Um, but let's say in a day in the life of probably being a network engineer, you may have to just work through any thing that you're seeing in your monitoring tool. And so you can start doing that by either clicking here or there or either here. But the first things you want to look at is the things that are in red because they're considered the most critical. So wherever you decide to, these are the current alarms, and this is just overall, all sensors, and then here. So there are 3 different ways you can um, view those alarms. So let's click here this time. DNS version 2, okay, SSL certificates, and you can start working your way through these, and then at some point come here and maybe clear it. Maybe even put a note on it or something to let someone else know that perhaps you're working on that, something of that nature. Let's let's click more into it and we can get more info about it, hopefully. Coverage 100%. And so you want to do your investigation. Let's go back just one. Well, maybe we wouldn't have to go back one. Add ticket. So maybe you create a ticket in association with this and you could assign it to yourself or your group or something like that so that and then that way it should be designated. You can also add some comments to it and etc. You can see the history on it, how many times this has taken place. So it's a lot of good data. um, and you want to kind of assign it to yourself or whoever you're gonna. Maybe you have someone who assigns tickets so that you don't have people double working tickets and bumping heads on this. So the next thing you probably want to do is start looking at your warnings. But instead of clicking here, I'm going to click here this time. I've clicked here. I've clicked here. Let's go here. As you can see, it's the same. 5 warnings, 5 warnings. And again, you would do the same thing and just work through these and get them cleared. So let's click. Let's see here. Let's go back just one. That wasn't really what I wanted you to see here. So the message regarding this space is only 13% free, but that's fine. That's just a an external drive priority. Okay, let's click there. Get a little more info about it. Okay, and let's go back to home. And so there you have it. We have SNMP on our network, and once again, we have been just expanding and building on top of everything that we're putting in place here. So we have SNMP. I advise you to download some different free SNMP tools. Find one that you like the most. Probably work around with it, or you'll probably end up working through a few of them because once the trial license runs out or the free trial, maybe you might want to load another one and try that one out. Well, I want to thank you all for viewing this video, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.